Good morning, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is a stock chart analysis update video. We're going to look at Celgene, Goldman Sachs, Delta Airlines, and United Airlines. All right, first we're going to start off here with Celgene. We've got a weekly chart on here. The count that I'm looking at when I look at the wave structure, I think Celgene has had a beautiful run. I mean, it's just, and if I look at the low back here, 1998, I'm using that as the low, and it looks like impulse wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and that therefore we would be working a fifth impulse wave. Okay, so that's the assumption I'm working under. And then within that fifth impulse wave, I'm counting, 1, 2 in terms of primary waves, and that we are therefore in primary wave 3. That would be followed by a pullback 4 and then a fifth primary wave. So let's just focus on primary wave 3 right now, which is an up cycle. It looks to me like 1, 2, 3, 4, we're in a fifth intermediate wave in this primary wave 3. And so now the challenge is, where is this fifth intermediate wave, intermediate wave going to end? What are we looking at? Here's a nice channel. I mean, it looks really nice. You connect the low of wave 2, the low of wave 4, you put it up here at 0.3, and you try to, and it ties in almost perfectly back to 1. So we've got a beautiful channel. But then what it does is it gives you a target to project for where wave 5, intermediate wave 5 might end. Now, it's always possible it doesn't get there, okay? It doesn't have to get to the top of the chart. So this is where we start to look at the daily chart, because wave 3 in here was extended, okay? And when I say extended, it means it was greater than 161.8% of wave 1. So if I measure wave 1, go back to the bottom of wave 2, it was well greater than 161.8% of wave 1. So we delete that. So now when I look at targets, let me use the crosshairs, it helps me. I go to the bottom of wave 1, go to the top of wave 3, go to the bottom of wave 4, and the targets I've got in here at 38.2 and 61.8 we're already surpassing. So then what you then assume, if we're surpassing 61.8, because the high in here was 109.25 last week, then the next target is up here at 128 if this wave 5 is also extending, and it sure acts like it is. So if wave 5 extends, then we're looking at a potential target of 128, which gets us closer to the top of this channel. Now let's go to the daily chart and take a look. So now we're back into this, looking at this fifth wave, okay? I think I've got 5, we're in a fifth minor wave. This was 1, 2, 2 is usually a sharp, quick pullback. And then we've got this 3, we had this kind of a flat A, B, C, 4 pullback, and then this fifth took off here. Now, when I look at these waves, you can see that wave 3 extended quite a bit, and this gives me a target of 113. Okay, so it's a big range, 113 to 128. So really what you start to do is you start to say, okay, well, what's this wave structure in here doing in the fifth wave? And it's a little hard to see because of the just how fast it's moving and what it's doing in here. So right now I'd keep the 113. If we continue to break above 113, then the next target would be 128. So right now Celgene is looking pretty strong, and it is almost 10:30. It's almost 10:30 here in the morning on Tuesday, November 4th. And Celgene is currently down 1.89 at 105.51. So I'm about to lose my voice, so hopefully not. All right, let's move on to the next one, and that is Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, I think, is also my best read on it is that it's in a fifth intermediate wave move to the upside here. And so if we focus in on this fifth intermediate wave, I think we've gotten 1 minor ABC, quick, sharp pullback, this extended 3 minor wave, then a flat a fourth wave pullback, and we're in a fifth intermediate wave or fifth minor wave up to complete the fifth intermediate wave. Okay, so a fifth of this fifth. Now, the interesting thing in here, so the top of the, again, doing the same thing, line up a trend line here between 2 and 4, projecting it from 3, gives you a projection out in here. Goldman Sachs is, where is it? Currently trading 189.66, high almost 191. So the high was right, it's, right in here. So it's right in here. It hasn't broken the high from yesterday. And the other thing to note here, the reason I got this 193.60, that is the high point since 2008, which occurred in 2009. So we got very close to that point, and that is a high. And so, that could provide some significant resistance in here, and notice that it's right at the upper end of the channel. So again, we'll be looking for, Goldman Sachs to run into some resistance and start to turn down. And that's what I'll be watching for. It may be happening already. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is Delta Airlines. We're going to start off with the weekly chart here too. And Delta is in, let's see if I get the right, yeah. And this is the weekly. Okay, so I think we've got 1, 2, and I'm calling them intermediate waves. Sometimes you can, whether you call them primary or intermediate, it's just as long as you keep the sequence and, working together in terms of intermediate, then minor, and that type of thing. And we can always come back and change it and make it primary if you wanted to. But right now, I'm going to call this, for lack of a better picture, calling it intermediate wave 1, 2, and working intermediate wave 3 to the upside. And so therefore, it looks like we're in a third intermediate wave to the upside, which would have wave 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, wave 3, very strong, extended well beyond 161.8% of 1. And then, again, drawing the channel, we got in here between 2 and 4, project out from 3. And so that's what we're looking at. And so let's go over to the daily chart on Delta. And let me zoom in because we're working this wave 4. And because this is extended, you go from 0 to 3 like I just did on Celgene, and you project up. So the first target on Delta is 44, target 2 is 53, and that gets you closer to the top of the channel actually. And let me rescale this so it's a little bit better and zoom in like this. So you can see what's going on here in this fifth wave. It almost looks like we may have a 1, 2, strong 3, 4, and then moving up to a fifth. So I don't know if we're going to get here or not. And Delta today is up at 42, high 42.86, $42.86. So right around in here, getting close to that first target. Okay, on Delta. So that's my picture on Delta and best analysis of it. Now let's go back. Next one we're going to take a look at is United Airlines. United Airlines on a weekly basis, not quite as pretty as Delta, but I think again if we use this looked like a fifth wave that got truncated down here in 2009. And so therefore I'm looking at this as wave 1, wave 2, kept chopping sideways. Now again, just like Delta, we're in wave 3 to the upside. But again, this did not extend like Delta. You know how Delta had that big wave 3 to the upside? This didn't do this. And so now we're trying to assess and say, okay, what are we doing in here? Let's try the if this is wave 2, it looks like wave 1 extended actually, in here. And if wave 1 extended, then wave 5 should be equal to 3. Okay, so now let me draw the trend line here and create a parallel line. Put that parallel line, if I can grab it, to the top of 3. So now that gives us a potential target up in here, up in this range in the low 60s, if that's the way it plays out. Let's take a look at United Continental on a daily basis. Don't know if we're going to get there because when we look at this third to fourth wave here, This was pretty complex, and in terms of corrective, looked like I had a flat followed by an AB 1, 2, 3 X, and then a zigzag Y. Now we're getting what looks like, and I know I've commented on this, as a broadening triangle here, broadening top wave in here. This could be, looks like a series of 3 waves. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A series of 3 waves making this diagonal. In Elliott wave, they call them diagonals, sometimes triangles. This looks like, just looks like a broadening top to me. So the real question is, how far can we go on this? And it's kind of hard to measure this. Let me go back to the weekly and see. I think the best, if we're saying that wave 5 would equal wave 3, that would occur where it's 100%, and that would be at 58.59. So let's call it 58.6. So 58.6. So if we come back to the daily and say 58.6, that's right up in here, right around 58. And today, UAL is trading at 56.28 up to high 56.70. So it's right today, it's right up in this range, it's right up in here. So we're getting close to that 58 target. So we're getting a little bit of going over the top of this trend line. That doesn't matter in terms of this broadening top. So this could also be getting very close to the target and the top of this top. So we'll have to watch and see if it starts to turn. All right, that's my best assessment of these 4 stocks, and we'll check in on them again. We put them in a rotation, check in on them in 2 weeks. And unless there's a specific trade idea that comes up before then, that's how I'll come back and look at them. So. All right, this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. If you felt like the video was helpful, please share it on social media. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Just click on the little red box here and first name and email, and that's all I need. And then you get access to the Trade Ideas webpage and can download the free PDF I've got for you. All right, have a great rest of the week, and I will be back on Wednesday evening with Market Update.